Hey everybody, hopefully karaoke's not playing because I'll have to dub in some music on top of it. But look at that, that's a talisai tree. You see how the leaves go out straight and the thing goes up, and they're brown like little umbrellas or something. That's the normal way these trees grow, but that's not why we're here. We're here because we're at the Bay Walk, and there's something new here, new that you haven't seen before. Well, a couple things actually. Of course, there's the beach. There's the sunset. Over there, if you can see, is the island Isla Gigante. See that island right there? That's Isla Gigante. That is, and I'm not focusing good, that island over here, trying to get my finger. That island there, those islands are off the night. And the other thing that they did, they built a little floating island here, right there. I don't know if you can rent it or what. But anyway, they've been modifying that and growing it since about 6 or 8 months ago. And again, hopefully there's no karaoke bleeding in. Over there, the mountains, and you can see them right there, that whole range. That's Negros Island. I'll get the focus back. And actually, I may have told you wrong when I said that's Isla Gigante. That might not be. That might be Isla Gigante del Norte, and that may be Isla Gigante del Sur. So this is the south and this is the north. There's 2 islands. So anyway, and again, that's not why we're here. We are here because, see, this is the Bay Walk, little restaurants, karaoke bars, whatever stuff. But notice this. And Sunset Beach, by the way, is just right. If I had a rock I could throw and hit it. We're having, there are people renting my beach for a birthday party now, but that's how close we are to all the action here. Sunset Beach is just right there. Right there. You see that first tricycle? Right there. What's the second one? That's Sunset Beach. That's my beach. That's the one that I own. But here, you'll notice there's a road coming down here. And again, hopefully the karaoke's not playing too loud. But what we have here is another area they're going to develop. And I don't know what's going to be called. But at the back of my property, my other property is right over there, just on the opposite side of Sunset Beach. Across the road there is my big lot where I'm going to build my house. But right here, we have something new, and people have been telling me about this for a while, and I didn't really know what they were talking about, if it was really done or somebody started it and hadn't completed it. And actually, it's not 100% complete, but this is phase 1, almost phase 1. It's done building this thing. But look at this, they got this interesting little, I guess they took some of the roots. This, by the way, is a mangrove swamp here. And the back of my property, as I was saying, my property's there. The back of it hits this mangrove swamp. So we share the same mangrove swamp is right here. But you can see they started decorating it. And this is the barangay captain, I believe, is doing this. And he's now mayor. So he's a good guy. He enabled all this stuff. He got all of the barangay property, the beach stuff, and the seawall, decorated it and kind of set it up for the private people to come in here and, you know, set up little beachside restaurants and karaoke bars. So anyway, we even have what looks like a Buddha there and a Buddha there, even though we're not Buddhist in the Philippines. So anyway, look at that. Wow. This is where we're going to walk through, and this goes somewhere too. It doesn't just like wander off into the mangrove swamp, but this is the mangrove swamp. And by the way, these things here, these palms that look like a coconut tree, this is what's called nipa, and nipa is what they make the roofs out of. So if you see what looks like palm tree roofs, coconut tree roofs, they're really not. They're really made from this stuff, which looks exactly like one, but they're water. They live in the water, so they're very water resistant, hence weather resistant, rain, sun, all that stuff. So that's why they make good roofing material. But these are all mangroves here. See all those trees? I don't know why all the leaves are kind of dropping off, but you can see the water here. The tide is low, so that's why it's down. as low as it is. The tide, interestingly enough, the ocean over there affects the mangrove swamp here. So under the road and all that stuff, this is all porous. It's like Swiss cheese, the rock underneath here. And the water at high tide flows in, and at low tide, it flows out of here. And there's no real connection. I've never seen any connection to the ocean. It's the roads between all this, and there's no pipes and stuff like that. Over there's fish hitting some stuff. See them jumping right over there? They heard me. Oh, whoa, 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 lizard, 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 big one, big one, big one, big one. There he goes. He just ran out of there. Big lizard, almost 3 feet long. They've got lizards like a Komodo dragon type size, not 8 feet long or 12 feet long, but big regardless. But yeah, he just ran right back through there. He jumped out of the water through here and ran right back through there. He was about a 3-footer, or maybe 4, I don't know. I couldn't get a good grip, but you can see the fish, some type of little fish, you know, tilapia or something like that. Some salt water fish, because this is salt water here. There's a snake. I saw him slithering. There's pythons in here too, by the way, folks. The real pythons. I mean, 8 foot long, 10 feet long pythons. I've killed baby ones, 2 or 3 baby pythons. I haven't seen a big one yet, but I have seen big ones in Santa Fe. 9 feet long and 7 feet long, slithering across the road there. That looks like a fish trap. There's a little net thing there, like somebody put a fish trap in. See that? I don't know if that's what they're doing, but it could be. So anyway, we're moving on. So this side is really open, and again, there's little fish in there somewhere, hitting insects or whatever on the top of the water. And the land, the other bank is there. You really can't see it. And the other bank is where we came in at the front entrance. So, and here they have an opening, as if somehow there's going to be something going out there. I don't know. This is all new. And here's another one that may or may not be opening, or maybe it's just not connected yet, or they didn't get that far. See, this one here is PVC with concrete running through it. So they got some rebar here. I don't know, maybe they're going to put lights in here for nighttime. Mosquitoes, from what I hear, don't like salt water, so you won't get a mosquito problem here. You may get some other kind of a gnat or problem or something like that, but not mosquitoes. But see how these roots, they go out of the top of the tree way up here, and then they go down into the swamp, way up here and down into the swamp. That's how mangroves grow, and that's a big one. You can see it's actually tree size. It's not just kind of like bush size that you would think would be in a mangrove swamp, because so they get pretty tall. You can see that right there. That's a good 20 foot from the ground up. So here we go. We're still walking. Still got little fish hitting something inside of there. And again, there's snakes, pythons, lizards, which I didn't think they would be in here, but sure enough, that one went running through the water when I spooked him. And he ran to the shore. That's the shore. You can see the shore right there. So that's the other side. The ocean's behind me. That's the other side. Actually, the highway or the road is behind me too, between here and the ocean. So we are walking, and they had plans for this on Facebook to show what all they're going to do with this. And when we get to the end, we'll have the little bonus thing. We're going to go between these mangrove trees. And there's another road there. This road actually goes around and meets the road that we came in on over there. So there's kind of a circle thing. But they're making this road so cars and stuff can come through. The interesting thing is, when they put all this rock down, they didn't run pipes or nothing through there so the swamp can flow through, but it still does. Oh, there's some big fish. You can see them swirling. And the water's kind of brown. They call it tannin. from the leaves. There's stuff in the leaves that make it brown. There's something moving down there, but it doesn't look like a fish, but it's definitely moving. So if the water was more clear, which is, again, the tannin in the leaves makes it brown, like swamps in Florida and wherever else swamps are. Yeah, so there's a lot of fish and things swirling right under the surface. And again, this is shallow, and they can't escape. Like when I went to Hagnaya the other day, Hagnaya, where the ferry goes to Cebu Island, there's a big bay, a huge bay there. I also interrupt my story and show they're building something here. It looks like it's heading that way, and I don't know what it is, but it looks like they've got like a little shelf here, and over there a little shelf or just something to sit on, and then a flat area heading that way. And they're driving bamboo down into the swamp and tying on to the mangrove trees also. But anyway, the tide was going out. It was almost all the way out, and man, there was bait right at the edge of the bay. There was bait fish everywhere, and there was marlin, 2 marlin. We saw their fins swimming around a bait ball. We saw some big, looked like what kind of tuna? Bonita tuna jumping, because they're silver and they're jumping like that. I've never seen so much fish going between Santa Fe and Hagnaya. Never seen fish, really. And then coming back, there was a little floating seaweed patch, not even 3 feet diameter, but under there we saw about 5 or 6 fish. And that's something I've never seen here, because they've got weed lines and stuff, but I never see fish there. So back to where we are. So as you can see, we came out of the mangrove forest, and we're over here, and this is the road I was telling you about, but the tide still goes up and down, even though this is blocking it. So underneath the ground, again, it's got to be like Swiss cheese. So, and they haven't finished painting this and stuff, that's why it's still in process, and they're wrapping this stuff with, looks like nylon, yeah, fishing line, you know, like 130 pound, 80 pound, whatever, you know, fishing line. But look over here. See that dirt piled up in a ring? Guess what's here? Well, a hole right now. But as I mentioned earlier on Facebook, they showed what the plans are for this place. And so people not only can go to the Bay Walk there along the beach, but they can drive back here. And this is going to be developed into like a park. I think it's a private park where people have to pay, because I don't think, I mean, I got to maintain stuff somehow, so, you know, revenue has to come in. But I think this is going to be like a park here, and swimming pool. In the plans, they got a swimming pool. There goes a dove too. By the way, we have dove here, and people hunt dove. They're skinny. They don't have the big breasts like in the U.S. where you're around there's a carabao or cow mooing. In the U.S. where they're around the wheat fields and stuff, where they get really fat. Here, they don't have rice farms or nothing like that they could fatten them up on. They're just eating wild seed. But see, that's all mangrove back there too. See all that? I don't know if you can see it that good there. All this looks like mangrove out there. I'm gonna walk around here. There's a seashell, as you see. See, down in these things is when you dig down, you see what's under here. And it starts out as fine beach sand, and as you go down, it's more coarse granulars and chunks of coral and stuff like that. And it gets like the seafloor was really way down 10, 12, 20 feet down. See, yeah, there's more mangrove swamp. So all this is like a nature area here. And again, I'm on the top of the mountain, so to speak. See, this is what the ground underneath here looks like. Like I said, it's like Swiss cheese. You see all the holes and stuff? Well, that's what the ground's like. So that's why when the tide goes up, it just goes through all these little Swiss hole cheeses. It's like limestone in the U.S. You know, the Carlsbad caverns and stuff in New Mexico, and I don't know, there's caverns all over the U.S. that is just limestone, because limestone slowly melts underwater and it's full of holes. You can see all the holes. Look at them. You see that? Nothing but holes. Holes, 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 holes everywhere. And so it's really porous. And I believe this is old coral head that, 10,000 years ago was coral head. Now it's, solidified into like a limestone rock. But yeah, that's the swimming pool. So it's going to be a pretty good sized pool. And again, I'm sure they're going to charge admission and that kind of stuff. And, all this area here will be, you can get my hand. It'll be tables and cabanas and stuff like that. So we're building, actually, the barangay captain, it was his idea, brainstorm, whatever you want to call it. And it's really worked out good for the community because we have businesses now, tourist type. Now, the interesting thing is we're not at the tourist end of the island. We're all the way at the opposite end, which is the north end of the island. So hopefully, if we develop this enough, and Filipinos are more apt to come up here than the foreigners. Foreigners hit the beach in Santa Fe and they think, eureka, I found it, the beach. And it's like, well, that's at the south end, but it's not at the north end. However, I'm going to have to tell you, all the foreigners and anybody else that's like, foreign food, Santa Fe's got better food than I think Cebu has. Cebu City has. Also, and I think I put this on Facebook a long time ago when I first moved here, but also there's another area where somebody, I think an ex-mayor, look down there. Do you see that water going through there? There is an open area back here. You see it? Let me try to do a little bit of a zoom. See that? If you go through there, I think one of the ex-mayors that owns that, that's also a mangrove swamp, but he's cleared it out and he had a swimming pool. This is from 20 years ago, 15 years ago. He developed that, and then I guess just forgot about it and let it just kind of sit until now when the Bay Walk's here. One end of the Bay Walk is where his place is, and now they got cabanas and stuff to rent. You can have parties there and all that. You're not at the beach, but you're across the street from the beach. And they've got the big mangrove swamp, but it's all opened up. And they got like a concrete walled area of the mangroves that's like a swimming pool. There's no bottom on it like a concrete or a tile. It's just the earth, but it's got a wall around it on the outside. So anyway, again, here's the big piles of sand where they're digging this out. I'm coming up here, like it's not sand dunes, it's just where the excavating machine dumped all sand, and they're going to have to do something with this. But I'm sure they'll just spread it out, flatten, level, fill in some of these holes here so that everybody, so they can build their little cabanas, shade things. I'm starting to feel some raindrops, so you can see the sky, a little cloudy, rainy kind of a look. So anyway, I'm waiting for my friend Dan. His father-in-law has one of those little sidecar things, and I got two of those big blue plastic 55-gallon drums that I need to haul over to my rental, the house that I rent, not my rental house. But see, again, see all the holes? See all the holes through here? Just see right here? There's holes all through this stuff. And that's how this tide rises and falls here. And my brother-in-law's best friend owns a water well drilling company, and he can drill 200 feet deep. But when I build my house, the problem is those rocks is basically what all the sand on my land sits on. And so when you drill through there, you drill through and you get into the salt water. So what I'm gonna, and he'll go 200 feet deep. So I think we can get through this salt water section and get over to the maybe to fresh water. They do have good water here, more in the middle of the island, they've got wells about 20 feet deep, and they're hitting clear, good, fresh water. There's no salt. It's just good stuff. So anyway, there's the path we came on. We're going full circle here through this road that they just bladed. And again, I'm sure they bladed this to get to their heavy equipment to dig that out over there. So that, wow. I don't think I'd come here at nighttime. Look how dark it looks in there. It's like one of those forests where you see like Blair Witch Project or some little witch coming out of the wood going, ah, like, run. So anyway, we're getting back into karaoke over here. So hopefully we won't be having to listen to too much of that, because you know, YouTube licensing, you can't let karaoke copyright music. Yeah, see right here, this is the back of the we'll go through, time to take shortcut. That's the way the road goes. That path, road slash path, goes that way. But over here, see, they're opening up even more. And this, look at that, that's frapping huge, man. So all this area they're going to develop, that is the Bay Walk, where the ocean beach road is, and the other side is all the seawalls and stuff. So see, they're opening all this stuff up. And I don't know who owns all this land, but the old mayor, by the way, didn't like the new mayor, because obviously, because the didn't like, yeah, the new mayor, who was a Brogate captain. There's somebody's bags of sand for cement. They may have lost them. So he made it difficult for the Bay Walk to be successful. They had checkpoints and stuff, harassing the people coming here and stuff. It's kind of petty politics, but that's just how things are everywhere. Even in the U.S., people are, you know, it's all cutthroat. The Democrats are cutthroating a line about the Republicans, and the Republicans are, you know, going, oh, hey, we didn't do that. So anyway, same thing here. Dirty politics everywhere. So as you can see, we're back at the thing. Lots of my political comments, but they're planting coconut trees. These are little baby ones here. You get the nut and you let it, just leave it laying on the ground and in a shady, damp kind of area, and eventually a little sprout will come up. And when it does, well, here, you just dig a hole and have that sprout part sticking above the ground slightly, or maybe even buried slightly, and voila, they'll start growing. See, like this. If this guy just sits here, there will be a little green sprout will come out of one end. I don't know which end, and it'll come out and start to go up. And then you take that, dig a hole that big, bury it in there, put sand on it. There's one there, right there, and voila, coconut tree. They'll grow everywhere here, as long as they get water, you know. And we're at the beach, and this is kind of a rainy season now, so this is a good time to get them started. So we will wrap this video up, having gone full circle and a few detours on this side, and we will be back with more from my paradise on Bantayan Island. Goes through the Mangrove Swamp to the swimming pool that will be there someday. Bye for now. So we came from there, and my camera's not holding still, so I have to stabilize it somehow. But anyway, that's zoomed in, and that's the entrance to that mangrove swamp. And we're back at the beach, and there's the Talisai tree. And there'll be a third layer like this, and a fourth and a fifth. They just keep growing taller and taller, as long as you don't whack them. If you whack them, then they start getting all kinds of weird shapes. But that's man doing it. So we will end the video here. And again, karaoke's playing in the background, so I may have to dub over some non-copyrighted music. There's a little floating island right there. You can possibly rent for a party or something. How you get out there, I'm guessing, ask one of these guys to take you. But here's all the fishing boats. There's the seawall that they built. a couple years ago. So there is a beautiful sunset, and we will be back with more of my paradise on Bantayan Island.